What's up, everybody? I am Sniggenhoff, and I am pleased to welcome you back to another episode of us playing Castile, so we can become the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. Not the Empire of the Holy Roman Emperor, although it's close. Anyways, big thing that happened in between this video and the last video is I finally set up my maps. Map modes. EU4 has a ton of information for you to know at any given time, and it's difficult to know all of it at once, but thankfully they have a ton of map modes so that you can understand and break down that information. For instance, this is the main map mode, this is the political map mode, so you can see which countries are which and what countries are where and who is at war with what. All that kind of stuff. But say you wanted to know what the terrain types were in each little area, so you can know what's defensive and what's offensive, where you can attack into, and so on and so forth. You can go to the simple terrain map mode, and you can see it. These light green, they're grasslands. These brown, they're hills. These dark brown, they're mountains. Don't attack into those; it's dangerous. Up here in Germany, it's all woods. There's just a ton of woods. If you wanted to know what the trade zones were, go over here to the trade zone map mode, and this is what trade looks like in the game. It's very complex and complicated, although kind of not, but also kind of a lot. If you want to know how people feel about you, you can come over here and you can look at the opinion map mode. Aragon and Portugal love us. England, not so hot. France really hates us. Austria kind of likes us though, so does Hungary. The Pope's a fan, I guess. If you want to know what religions are where, boom, religion map mode. Boom, culture map mode. If we want to know where the institutions are spreading, go over here to the institution map mode. It's been accepted all throughout Venice. It's being accepted down over here, but it's still spreading throughout Western Europe. Slowly. But the one I want to show you is this one. This is the Great Powers map mode. So it kind of shows who is the big players in the world right now. We have us. This is our directly controlled land. Then we have Navarra, our vassal, Aragon, our personal union, and Naples, our personal union. But we basically control all of this land. France. England is losing its great power status. That's why they're gray with the red stripes over them. The Ottomans, they control this directly, and then they control all this up here indirectly. Poland, they control this directly and this indirectly. And Muscovy over here, this directly and this indirectly, along with the Mamluks. Like, these are the major players in our part of the world. There's a couple other great powers, probably Ming and the Timurids. They're off. We haven't met them yet, but Timurids are over here. Ming is China. They're over here. But those are kind of the major players in the world we have to watch out for. And France hates our guts. The Ottomans, we may be able to snag an alliance with. And Lithuania or Poland, we may be able to snag an alliance with. So we can have like 2 versus 1 situation going on if we are ever attacked. And again, maybe I'm just a scaredy cat, but I'm super scared of France. They are very strong and very powerful and very annoying if you go to war with them. So currently we are still integrating Navarra. We just got the Iberian waiting to fire, so we got all this land underneath us, and we're kind of waiting for our manpower to come up a little bit before we go diving into a next war, unless we find a good opportunity for us. We also need to look for opportunities to start sneaking up into here if possible, or begin improving with some of these electors in the Holy Roman Empire to maybe get ourselves elected. That's a little bit down the road. We need to become Spain first to be able to complete the achievement. That's what we're going for. So let's unpause the game and let it run for a little while. How does that sound? What's the supply limit where I've got these troops parked? 25. I'll move them over here to this 32 area. Just make sure I don't run out of supply. Let me also check and see. I have room for 2 more units of troops, and I have room for 1 more boat. So let's build a new boat in the Armada Real. More trade ships. Typically, you almost always just want to build trade ships because more trade ships equals more money. And even if they've got a bunch of heavies, which is the best military ship, if you've got a bunch of if you have like 10 times as many trade ships, you can most likely be able to take their 5 heavies with your 50 trade ships pretty easily. And I'd rather just have more and more and more money because I'm greedy like that. A bunch of countries want to hire out condottieri, which I'd be interested in doing if I had manpower, but I don't, and I don't want to waste it fighting these tiny little wars out over here. Like, if France was attacking somebody that I didn't want and I didn't want France getting more land, I'd think about it, but everybody else, no, I'm good. That's enough money to build another church. Let's go ahead and do that so that we can make even more money. If I wanted to, I could build them in my vassals' places as well, but I won't see the direct profit from that until I take them over directly, so I don't really want to do it right now. I'll wait until later on. Right there seems like a good place to build it. Let's also look at what you can do with subjects now that we have a bunch of them. So with a vassal, I can either gain 70 gold, or actually let's leave this real quick. My lord, one of your advisors has suggested selling off titles of the nobility to anyone who can afford to pay. It is bringing in lots of money and open a way for social advancement for the rich if we do, but it would devalue the idea of nobility and perhaps upset the existing aristocratic families. Should we do this? I don't know why that guy was British and not Spanish, but whatever. So gold is the sign of nobility. I can get a bunch of ducats from selling the things. And the nobility will like us less, but the burghers will like us more, although we are just above the loyalty threshold for the nobility. That's at 40, and they're at 42 right now. So if I take this decision, the nobility are going to be mad at me once again, and I just spent a lot of time with them being mad at me. Or I can gain 1 stability, and again, 1 stability right now is worth 100 admin points. So essentially get 100 admin points for free. And the nobility will like us more, but the burghers will like us less. And the burghers, if they like us less, they'll still be above the threshold. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, both for the stability and for it matches up better with the way our estates are at the moment. Oh yeah, we're going to look at subjects and what you can do with them. So Navarra, our vassal. There's a few things we can do with them. We can tell them to embargo our rivals. If they do, they get a little bit higher liberty desire. And the higher liberty desire someone has, the more they want to break off from you. Generally, you don't want your vassals and personal union members to have high liberty desire, because the higher it goes, the less likely they are to help you as well. We could enable scutage, which forces them to pay us 50% of their monthly income, but they don't help in wars. So Navarre is actually a very good candidate for this because they're small and don't have a very big army. So this 3k isn't really going to help in any wars we get ourselves into, but we can end up getting more money out of them. We can enforce them to have the religion, our religion, but that we already have the same. We can give them land that we own. This grants them cores, and as we just lose them. But mostly the same thing you can do over here with personal unions. Give them cores, give them provinces, you can pay off their debt, and you can siphon their income, which takes 50% of their yearly income, but it makes them hate us a lot and increases their liberty desire. Also, with personal unions, you can enforce culture, so it will make them change their culture into your culture, which matters for some certain things, but it also costs you a bunch of diplomacy points, and it makes them hate you a lot. And once again, I don't really want them to hate me. So, these are our new missions. 1, our manpower reserves can recover. It's very hard to get up to 90 manpower reserves. Right now, we're getting 300 out of 2,800 a month. 28,000 a month. So it's going to take a long time for that to get back up to 90%. So this is a very hard one to do. We can improve our prestige, which requires us to get it up to 50. But if we do, we get 100 admin, which is very nice. Or we could take the mission to accumulate money. We need 286 ducats. And if we do, we get 10 prestige. Of the 3 of these, this one's probably going to be the easiest one to complete, so I'm thinking about taking this one. But the 100 admin from this one is tempting, but I would probably have to get into a war that I kind of don't want to be in right now to do this one. So I'm probably going to take that. I just got a free diplomat from finishing that integration, so now you see Navarra, instead of being its own separate country, it is part of Spain, or Castile. We're not Spain yet. I also have 1 transport that I think I'm going to just sink. I don't really want a transport. I've already got 10. I'm going to send this other diplomat over here to Naples. They don't have a very high opinion of me, and I want them to like me. People still want to hire out condottieri. I don't really want to at the moment. And we're going to let the game run some more. People were improving with Hungary. I'm I'm also going to go in here. How much longer do we have till this? 1468. So about 10 years before we can get up to the Admin Tech 5. That seems like a long time. And I can't demand support from these guys until 1465. I'm going to go in here to my diplomatic page. This is my country's diplomatic page. I'm going to go over here to show diplomatic feedback. And this shows other countries the territory that I want, essentially. So because I have claims on these 3 territories, they show up as yellow. Like, I view them with strategic utility. What I'm going to do, and this will cause Naples and Aragon to... I'm doing this to get them to to fabricate claims on territory. I'm going to tell the world that I want all of this territory. But what I really want is I want Aragon to fabricate claims on this territory so that we can go to war over it, and then I can give it to them, essentially. And that way, when I click the button to become Spain, I can get more land for free. Now, this does, claiming other countries, saying that I really want other countries' territory, makes them not like us very much. Tunis is not going to be happy with the fact that I'm telling the world, like, hey, I want all this land. But it will cause Aragon to say, oh, my overlord wants this land, I'm going to fabricate claims on it, essentially. So it tells our vassals to do stuff, which is good. I can also claim stuff up here in Italy, but I don't really want to rumble with these guys right now. I don't want to get the Europeans hating me. I'm fine with the Northern Africans and the Muslims hating me. But I don't really want to tick anyone off in Europe quite right at the moment. I'm also going to send a diplomat over here to the Pope. Improve relations there. Just to keep him topped off. I don't want... the more relations you have with them, the higher your papal influence can go. And when you get up to 50 papal influence, you can take one of these blessings that the Pope gives. And most of them are really good. You can get extra diplomatic reputation. You can get your manpower recovery speed back up. Things like that. So getting one of those blessings would probably be really good, and just at the cost of sending a diplomat over there. Have enough money, going to build another church. I'm going to keep building those for as long as I basically have territories that are worth building them in. And I'm going to send these 3 units, formerly the Navarran army, down over here to my main army. One thing I could do is take these troops and combine them in with my weaker troops, but I'm not at my force limit. Ooh, I'm 2 above my force limit, so maybe I should do that. Combine out 2 of my troops so that I have a stronger fighting force and less men to recover, if that makes sense. So that would be 1, essentially. Or actually... Alright, so I have... I've gotten rid of 1, and I have 258 left over. Not those guys. 258 and... So what does that put me at? 1 over, and I can just get rid of the one that has 20 guys in it. There we go. So that gives us a little closer to a full fighting force and brings us back down to our force limit because I don't want to pay the extra money from being over it. And the Grenadans are unhappy again, specifically Gibraltar. If I wanted to get rid of this unrest, one thing I could do is I could raise the autonomy in the province. But I don't really want to do that. Again, I don't want to go super deep into how autonomy or how development works, but the way autonomy works with it is when I have autonomy at 30%, I'm getting 70% of the value of the development in the province, essentially. So I get 70% of the taxes, 70% of the trade income, and 70% of the manpower. So I don't really want to raise the autonomy because it's going to cost me money, and something just happened where that number jumped down to 0 anyway. So I don't know what happened, but something did, which I will certainly take. Let me see if Aragon has any claims down here in Tunis. Not yet. I think this is a war I'd be willing to take. Come down here, give a bunch of land to Aragon, take these like pretty valuable provinces up here on the northern coast of Africa, and this trade node where all these provinces are at flows into my trade node in Sevilla. So taking these provinces, especially the ones that are these centers of trade, will allow us to push more money back into our home node. One thing I also may want to do eventually, so most of our land is over here in the Sevilla node, but a lot of the Aragonese land that I just got is in the Genoa node. And one thing that's special about the Genoa node is it's an end node. Money cannot leave the Genoa node, unlike Sevilla, where you can have money flow out of this node into Genoa. Genoa, money can never escape from. So like we're losing 1.5 ducats, 1.25 ducats to the Genoa node. Whereas if we were here and protecting trade here, we could have like a large percentage of this 18 gold, where we only have right now we have 44% of the 7 gold, or 7 ducats essentially, if that makes sense. And also, if you guys have any questions or need me to explain things more, ask them down in the comments. I'd be happy to explain them. I don't want to spend all my time explaining every little nuance of the game, because one, you may already know it, and two, that takes a very long time because there's a lot of nuance in this game, if that makes sense. Hire a new advisor. Apparently one of my old ones died, and I need to send out this guy somewhere. Let's actually improve with the Ottomans some. I currently don't have any space for diplomatic relations, but I may at some point in the future. And just recent shipments of wolves have been of unsurpassed quality, earning our nation extra money. So I just get 28 ducats for frizzy. For frizzy? I don't think that's even a slang word. I'm just out here making up words. Truce with Morocco has ended. I could go back to war with Morocco, which is an option. I don't really know. I also can turn off this fort. Let's go ahead and send someone down here and have them start building up a spy network against Morocco. Because I don't want to just sit here. There's expansion I could be doing that I probably should be doing. So I don't want to just sit on my laurels. I wonder if Morocco... It's tough because I don't want to spend any administrative power right now, which also reminds me, I was going to switch my focus up here to administrative power because I want to get to Admin Tech 5. So I really don't want to do any conquering until I've hit Admin Tech 5. But I also don't want to just sit here and do nothing and watch the game roll on without me. I do want to go to war. I want to influence things. I want to grab more territory, stuff like that. But it's tough. Let me look at how we're doing on institutions. So where it's dark green for all these institutions. This isn't great. Let me finish this thought real quick. Where it's dark green for all these institutions, this is where it's been fully accepted. And everything that borders dark green is going to gain the Renaissance institution faster and get rid of that tech penalty faster. And then where it's striped green is where it is growing, but just much more slowly. Like it's at 10% in some of my provinces. So we're kind of a long ways away from getting it. But the faster it expands this way, the faster we'll get it. And also it's expanding down into our territory in Naples, and it'll soon be expanding down into our territory in Aragon. So hopefully it won't be too long, but let's hit up this event that just happened, which is always the Triumph of the Clergy event. Sucks. While none would openly defy the clergy, there are a few states where they are influential, where there are few states where they are as influential as in Castile. There isn't a single institution in our country that isn't entirely under the influence of the clergy, and the power of the king depends on them now more than ever. It is perhaps only natural that the clergy now wishes to take a more active role in the practical ruling of our country. Lately, a number of suggestions have been made by the representatives to further harmonize our laws and traditions with those of the spiritual realm. This ambition is to cleanse our court culture from any unorthodoxy, and to ensure that the country is governed according to religiously sound rules and ideals. So I can either follow the recommendations of the clergy, which gives us stability, will be more costly to bump up, which isn't a huge deal. I'm already at +1, and I rarely spend the admin points to go above that, and I don't really want to spend admin points right now anyway. What is unfortunate is clergy would gain 10 influence, which they're currently at 78, which will put them at 88 and start taking up a disaster, which we don't want to happen. Or we can object to their authority. We lose 1 stability, putting us at 0, which is fine. They lose 20 loyalty, so they're going to hate us again, and 10 influence, which will put them down to 68. So I think I have to take this one. Losing the stability sucks. Losing the loyalty sucks, but I don't want to give them that influence for 15 years. So we're just going to bite the bullet here. And because of that, we're going to lose some taxes. Right now, our national tax modifier is at -10%, where before it was at probably +10 or +20. I can't remember. So we just lost 30% of our taxes, which is fine. Having said all that, though, probably going to wrap this episode up. In the future, I may be looking to go to war with Morocco or Tunis. I'd prefer to go to war with Tunis, so I can give that land to Aragon and not to spend the admin points myself to do it. And we need to get to Administrative Tech 5 so that we can start taking ideas, and ideas are going to open up a bunch of different options for us in the future. I wonder if Portugal has gotten their ideas yet. Portugal has not unlocked any ideas. That'll be important later, and I'll probably talk about it in the next video. So thank you guys for watching so much. You've been great. Continue to hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Also, feel completely free to subscribe to the channel. Know when I put up new videos, and leave a comment in the description down below. Not in the description down below, in the comment section down below. Just give me your favorite story about Muscovy. Let me know why Muscovy is super cool. And follow me on Twitter at Snigenhoff. That's SNIGENHOFF. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.